going to the sheep pen every day. It's like, okay, I could curse where I am, or I can go, God, there's something inside of me. And so I'm just scratching this thing out. So a couple of years ago, we are at church, and we're sitting by one of our best friends, who, by the way, watch this. What's these threads? I mean, it's like God's cross-stitching. Terry used to cross-stitch all the time. She would just, I'd wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning, her little lamp's on. It's like, that's what God's doing. So years ago, 18 years ago, 17, anyway. So I meet this guy down on Music Row. I'm a songwriter, and I'm introduced to this guy, and he's a Texan. And I'm a Texan, we hit it off. Texans hit it off. And so, we blah, blah, blah. So I found out that his wife is having twins. So I tell Terry, and she goes, let's take them supper. That's a Texas thing. So she fries chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy and all this stuff. And we go knock on this guy's door that I had only met one time. Hey, howdy. And so, Terry's brought you supper because, we heard you had twins. Hey, thanks. 18 years later, after this incredible friendship, I walk into church, and my friend, the fried chicken guy, he's got a guy sitting with him. And so, hey, Bobby, I want you to meet my friend, Dennis. Dennis Welch, who's now your friend, who's going to be here next Sunday. Dennis Welch is sitting, first time I met him, he's sitting by my fried chicken friend, and he goes, hey, I'm from Austin. Yeah, I'm from Braden, blah, blah, blah. And we start talking, and pretty soon, we begin this friendship. I go, hey, Dennis, what do you do? I work in book publishing. Really? Yeah, I do, I promote authors, and I help them find agents and get their deals and stuff. Really? Here's God doing His little thing. Several years ago, we were at went to a fundraiser for a ministry, and we had RSVP'd, and I'm not going to give the details. We had RSVP'd, and we got there, and somehow they messed up our names. We didn't have name tags so they didn't have our name tags. It's like, what? So we get the sticky kind, that some of you have on today. It's like, I don't want to have a sticky tag. I want a tag. So we get put at, this event, Chuck Colson's the keynote speaker. Oh, by the way, remember Charles Colson? He was in the Nixon administration, the whole Watergate thing. We were sitting there minding our own business, and all of a sudden, I had goosebumps all over my body. It's just like, it's like this, something happened, and I look up, and Colson's walking in. It was unbelievable. Just the presence of God. So anyway, we're sitting there in our sticky tags, and we don't have a nameplate. They have to set up an overflow table, and we don't have a tablecloth. Here we are at this round table with our sticky tags, and Terry's going, we could do this at home. And she loved that sheep pen. I'm playing. She did kind of say that. But so here we are in the sheep pen, and it's like it's starting to stink. And so all of a sudden, here comes this other guy in a sticky tag. He sits down, and I go, Terry, look who it is. And it's this guy, and our children had known each other, and we had known about him. He's a songwriter, big-time songwriter, in a sticky tag. And so we're sitting there at this table with no tablecloth, with sticky tags. And at the end of the night, he says, here's my phone number. Call me tomorrow. I want to hear songs. The next day I call him. I go play him songs. He is now taken her under his wing and going, I am going to walk you through this whole thing. Listen, don't you want to live like that? That's how I want to live. God doing this in my life. God doing this in Terry's life and my kids' life. Listen, that's what's going on here. But we miss it. Because I hate this sheep pen. This sheep pen stinks. Why can't I be doing blah, 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 blah? And we're cursing where we are. And God's going, I want so bad to do this, but I can't do that because you're cursing where you are. Isn't that amazing? Can you? I mean, every page in here, every single page, and every day since it was canonized, God has been going, watch this, look at this, here's what I'm doing, I want to do this in you. God, do that in me. Man, don't miss Him. That's what God's up to. So you focus your prayers on what you think needs to happen in order for you for what He's put in your heart. You start praying that. Oh God, show me what's in my heart. Show me your plans for me. And then God, start doing what you're going to do. But some of you are going to tune me out here. That's okay. You know, I'm not arrogant. I'm not arrogant or cocky, but I believe this with all my heart, and some of you are not going to, and that's okay. But I'm still going to believe it because I want Him doing this in me. And you cannot believe it and not let it happen. That's, you know, I don't want that to be offensive, but I've staked my life on this. And so you pray for those people who have the power and the resources and the influence to make it possible. You pray for favor and you plan and you prepare and you work harder than you've ever worked before and you get yourself ready so that when the opportunity comes and God goes, it's time, that you're ready. See, here's what we're going to discover in the next few weeks. While David's tending sheep in the sheep pen, he's like got this little slingshot. Boom. Wow, I think I can hit that stump now. I mean, he's worked for a month. You know, finally can hit the stump. You know, and then there's a little rabbit or whatever. You know, it's like, and then pretty soon we're going to find out it's a lion and a bear. And so when he shows up, when Goliath shows up, he doesn't see Goliath. He's just like, okay. He had 5 stones, remember? I'm giving so much away. It's like I'm preaching a month's worth. This is so good, like 3 or 4 weeks from now. He shows up with 5 stones. It wasn't because he thought he was going to miss. He had 5 because Goliath's brothers came. Seriously. I mean, it's like while he was in the sheep pen, he's working, he's preparing, he's praying, he's believing, doing all of those things instead of going, oh, I hate this job. Golly, my daddy, he loves those brothers more than me, blah, 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 blah. And you curse, and the more you curse where you are, the more you focus on it, and you focus on what's around you instead of focusing on what's ahead of you. You get it? You plan as if someone's coming along. You plan as if something is coming along that's going to assist you, that's going to bless you, that's going to whatever for you to get where you're going. Here's the flip side of that, okay? You live this way too. God, is there somebody you want me to bless? God, can I get in on what you're doing in somebody else's life? Can I help thread something? Help me. Let me help someone. Does that make sense? That's how we live. We live like this, not like this. And when I live this way, God can put stuff in, He can take stuff out. It doesn't matter because I live like this. But when I live my life like this, holding on to what I've got to hold on to my sheep. I got to hold on to this. God's going, I'm trying to put something in your hands, but I can't because you got them closed. Okay, or we close them to fight with, whatever. All right. So you be ready, be available, believe, hope, knowing that you have a destiny, knowing that I have a destiny, a sense that this is what I was made for. It's no accident. Listen carefully. This is where some of you are going to tune me out. It is no accident that you are where you are. It's not. God is using your present circumstances to prepare you to accomplish His purpose for your life. And where you are today is part of it. You're not wasting your time. You are not spinning your wheels. He has positioned you with the purpose in mind. He has you where He wants you. And so we don't curse the moment. We don't begrudge. We don't bemoan the fact that this is happening, or I don't have this much in my checkbook, or I have whatever it is. got to live today as if God is going to do what He said He will do. And we begin to look for those intricate ways that He's working in our life. And you start expecting, and you start believing, and you start hoping, and you seek Him, and you crave Him, and you hunger, and you thirst for the things and the ways of God. God is on the move. He's up to something. He's up to something in your life. Listen, I'm not trying to sound like this motivational speaker. That's the Word of God. My sheep pen is yielding the plans and the purposes of the Almighty. It can do one of two things. Your sheep, you can have, well, I won't be graphic. You can do one thing. You can just sit there and whine and complain and have sheep hair all over you. Or you can go, yeah, God, what are you doing? This sheep pen's awesome because you're launching something from right here in my life. Same is true of our church. There are days when this feels like a sheep pen. But God's going to do something. God is doing something here. We got to look for it, believe for it, expect it, pray for it to happen. Okay, let's pray.